Hey noobs, I'm back. This week I'm going to once again be talking about Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. I mentioned last week that I've been playing it a little bit off and on, and that I would come back to it, and now I'm going to come back to it. So, from further playing it now, you're probably wondering, I've been playing the PS4 version, so my review will be based off of how well it was ported to the PS4. If you feel it's better on the PC, good for you. I haven't played the PC version, so I'm going to talk about my experience of the game on the PS4. So, for the story, I pretty much can't tell you what the story is because I stopped paying attention to it 19 levels ago. Because I find the story was kind of dumb and kind of boring and really didn't keep my interest a whole lot. I couldn't care less about what's happening. From what I gathered, there was some kind of war, and some guy who happens to be, or it looks like, Darth Vader, kind of sound like Darth Vader, is kind of butthurt about losing said war, and he wants to make the Empire rise again. So that's from what I gathered. That's pretty much the story. That's what we're kind of working with. Again. Didn't really enjoy it. I'm not really enjoying the story. I'm just playing it just to play with friends and smack monsters in the face. On the other hand, the music for the game is really, really, really fantastic. This is solid music for Final Fantasy. The Chocobo theme is really well done. With when you riding on a chocobo, it sounds like you're going on a grand adventure into this vast land. And then we have really great battle music. When you go into Fates, they have specialized boss battle music for that. And then we have the prelude that starts at the title screen, which sounds fantastic. And the victory theme when you level up, the victory theme when you do dungeons. That's all fantastic. Speaking of dungeons, the thing that I really don't like, and I'm sure there's more of these, is there's a bunch of dungeons that you're forced to do in the storyline. And basically, what a dungeon is it makes you pair up with other players who play this game online, and the dungeon will have a requirement where you need 2 fighters, a tank, and a healer, something like that. And you can't enter that dungeon until you meet that requirement. So you gotta look for people or go through your friend list, and it's just I'm not ragging on the dungeon's setup on itself. I'm just ragging the fact that you're forced to do these dungeons in the actual game itself. And then on top of that, combat is really fun. You get nice choices for abilities, and you can mix and match, and they level up and stuff like that. And it's pretty simple to fight. But on the other hand, I feel that the game was made for the PC, and then Square Enix was well, let's port it to the PS4, the PS3, and make more money that way. And I feel it was kind of very, very badly ported. The game really needs a keyboard, which is weird because that's something you can get for the PS4. If you own a PS4, you can actually use it with a keyboard as opposed to the controller, which is kind of a bummer because it feels like it needs to be played that way, which kind of forces an accessory onto you that you don't want to use, especially if you want to talk to people, because you got to bring up the chat by hitting down on the pad and then talk it out awkwardly by scrolling through the text on the game. It was badly ported. I had to get my friend to explain it, but once I figured it out, it worked. For lack of a better word, it worked. It was fine. So, having said that, I'm not giving this my official stamp of approval. It's not a bad game per se. I just feel that it's really probably stronger on the PC. I feel, and that the people who played on the PS3 and the PS4 kind of get a little bit of a letdown, which is unfortunate. Makes me kind of curious because it's called Realm Reborn, so makes me kind of curious on how bad the first version of this game was, because like I said before, the reason it's called Realm Reborn is because they got like a brand new design team and, well, rebuilt the whole game from scratch. So it kind of makes me wonder what the first incarnation of the game was like, if this is what we have now. Like, I don't know. Good game, not an instant buy it for cheap. I mean, $39.99 is pretty cheap as it is, but then you got to pay for the sub fee to pay for servers and whatnot, which costs like $15. I don't know. If you're really looking for an MMO, for a really good MMO that isn't WoW, pick it up. But if not, it's not your thing, it's not going to change your mind. I'd say pass on it for now. That's pretty much all I played all this week. I mean, I played more Monster Hunter, but I already talked about that and know how well that is. So I guess we'll just move on to the news section, and we'll see you in the second half. Okay, so we're back. Another heavy news week. Mostly just Nintendo, once again. PlayStation and Xbox had trouble with their servers and their networks and whatever. PSN got hacked again, or a small hack. That was kind of disappointing. But for Nintendo, the ones I'm going to cover is we got for Smash Brothers, a huge. And I said in past videos I was going to talk about stuff like this, like rumors, but huge leak for the Smash Brother roster that people are pretty much submitting that it's confirmed. There was a video that showed Bowser Jr. fighting a bunch of people in the game, and it got taken down. So people are must be a real video. People are calling it fake, but as soon as they saw Nintendo took it off of YouTube, people are must be real. I'll post links for the other pictures and videos, and you can decide for yourself. But I'm pretty much convinced that at the very least Bowser Jr. could be in the game, in the clown car. And then on top of that, Nintendo released more DLC for Mario Kart 8, which is the best DLC news I've heard. We have before was the realistic cars, and then an update for the map on the screen, and then now they just announced that you can play as the villager and the animals from Animal Crossing in the DLC, and on top of that, you can play as Link in Mario Kart, which blows my mind that you can do that. We've never seen Link outside of anything else except for Zelda games and now Hyrule Warriors. That is just friggin' amazing. He has his own custom car with the Triforce on it and whatnot. Wow, I would never have seen that coming in a million years. And then on top of that, Nintendo revealed a new fighting game, a Pokemon fighting game actually, that will be running the Tekken engine. So it's like Pokemon mixed with Tekken, which is weird and awesome. So that for those people I guess all of us who wanted a fighting game with Pokemon, we're going to get it, sorta. It's going to release in Japan first in the arcade, and then if it does successful over there, then they'll port it over to the console, which I feel it's probably not going to have any issues being successful in Japan, in the arcade over there, especially since I think Pokemon's the strongest and biggest in Japan, and people want this game, so it's going to be successful. And the fact that it's going to be running Tekken Tournament, I believe it was, for the engine, is just mind-blowing. That's mind-blowing news right there. And that's pretty much it for news that's really interesting that I decided to go with. So make the internet your bitch!